U.S. intelligence agency, mind control.
What am I doing here in the middle of the ocean, surrounded by frozen corpses?
Growing millet, soybeans, and maize after growing tobacco for 25 years. Low prices coupled with what she calls unfair tobacco buying practices at the market are among the reasons she switched 3 years ago.
That's fucking awesome.
Moving away from
Farmers
tobacco.
do not have
Yeah,
say
they
on
were able
prices
to
offered
make
at
a
auction
profit
floors.
moving away from
Sometimes
tobacco.
the buyers would even reject tobacco
Epic.
bales. When this happens, I
Very
would start
cool.
borrowing money to pay for transport I used to carry the bills to the auction floors.
Besides growing crops, Ndege also rears goats, doves, chickens, ducks, and peacocks she uses as manure to mitigate the impact of the recent rise in fertilizer prices.
From the time I stopped growing tobacco, my life has changed. For example, last year, I was able to buy a motorbike and a motorcycle, and now I am able to pay school
Vosh
fees for my
hates you and
children
hopes
who
you
are in
die.
secondary schools.
Tobacco has long been a main foreign exchange earner in Malawi, amassing over 50% of the country's export earnings. It has also been the main source of income for many farmers in Malawi.
I have been benefiting a lot from tobacco farming, and I have no plans to quit farming because tobacco is the only source of income.
However, the WHO anti-smoking campaign says tobacco farming
It sounds like the
public
guy
risks
doing the
to
narration
farmers
needed that
who may absorb
anti-smoking
nicotine
campaign.
equivalent to smoking 50 cigarettes a day. The Malawi government took a significant step last year by ratifying WHO Framework Convention on Tobacco Control Treaty, which advocates reduction of tobacco production. However, some farmers who are
working
now
with the
growing
kids.
legumes, such as Said Muhammad, say the challenge is lack of sustainable markets for their crops.
It becomes difficult to find a market for soybeans in our area. As a result, we don't get enough revenue, but we find relief in groundnuts, which are fetching better prices, unlike tobacco, whose prices are unpredictable.
Agriculture experts say there is hope for these farmers, citing the recent announcement by a local manufacturing company
cool.
to establish a soybean oil extracting industry in Malawi in the next 6 months.
Definitely, we understand that that industry has potential to absorb over 150,000 metric tons of soya. So we believe when it comes to a ready market for soya, then definitely that market will be there.
Chimaza also says farmers like Ndege are poised to realize more revenue from their harvest following a recent launch of a soybean exports to China, which saw a local company sending a 240 metric ton trial consignment to China in May. Lamik Masina, VOA News, Blantyre.
Anything to get away from these industries is good, really. You know, getting away from chocolate, getting away from cotton, getting away from tobacco, anything that big like that needs to be abandoned, I think. Because, like,
agriculture in general can be very problematic.
And especially like, especially the cotton.
I mean, where do our slaves work in this country?
Where do they? It is agriculture.
It's all agriculture.
I guess the migrant
and hospitality management, aka housekeeping.
Yeah.
Domestic worker, as other countries would call them.
Interesting.
Campaigning kicked off in Rwanda on Saturday ahead of a presidential election in July. And for incumbent President Paul Kagame, the road to another term in office
you need
began
to tell
in the
me
northern
they got
city
mascots?
of Msanzi.
Trump can't draw a crowd like this.
No, he can't.
They got little mascots that come out.
His supporters came out singing and cheering for a man who has ruled the country since 2000. Kagame of the Rwanda Patriotic Front triumphed in the last election in August 2017 with 98.63% of the vote, according to the Electoral Commission. He has won international acclaim for presiding over peace and economic growth since the end of the 1994 genocide, in which an estimated 800,000 ethnic Tutsis and moderate Hutus were killed. But he has also faced mounting criticism for what human rights groups say are the suppression of political opposition and the muzzling of independent media. Rwandans head to the ballot box on July 15th.
I want to fucking listen to the bop, though.
President Paul Kagame has ruled Rwanda with an iron fist for decades. Many analysts...
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's like weird.
Interesting.
Like the it's got the way they sing is very weird. It's like it's very tinny.
Interesting.
It's like the music is very tinny. It's not like comparable to other music.
Say they don't expect any surprises on who's expected to win this election. Kagame is running for a 4th term. He came into power in the wake of a genocide that killed an estimated 800,000 Tutsis and moderate Hutus.
Wait. You mean to tell me this guy's been in power since the Rwandan genocide?
In 2015,
I'm
Rwandans
sure
approved
this is a democratic election.
Constitutional amendments that allowed Kagame to run for a 3rd term.
Fuck
They
off.
also voted for shorter presidential terms from 7 to 5 years.
Would you fuck
In
off?
2017, the Electoral Commission declared him winner with 99% of the vote.
Fuck off.
There are 3 presidential candidates in this election. Philippe Mpayimana is running as an independent.
Number 1, Paul
Frank
Kagame.
Habineza from
Number
the Democratic
2,
Green
Paul
Party
Kagame.
says he has over
And number
years
3,
numerous death
Paul
threats,
Kagame.
been imprisoned and forced into exile during previous attempts to unseat Kagame. In the last election, he came second with less than 1% of the votes. Human rights campaigners have often accused the
came
ruling
in
Rwandan
second with less than 1% of the
intimidating
votes.
serious presidential
God
contenders.
damn, bro. This
Toyin
guy's
Ingabire is one of Kagame's fiercest
got
critics.
more approval than
She was barred
fucking
from running for
Assad.
president because of a prior conviction of inciting division and conspiring against the government. She served 8 years in jail, but says the charges were politically motivated. Dozens of other Rwandans are in exile. Some have blamed the state for killing or disappearing dissidents. Rwanda has also been accused by neighboring Democratic Republic of Congo of arming a rebel group in the North Kivu province.
Rwanda sounds like a problem.
Fighting between government forces and M23 has killed many and displaced close to 2 million Congolese since 2023. The government in Kigali has denied the accusations. Despite all this, many Rwandans in the country say they're happy with the president and will vote for him again. Amma Boateng, Al Jazeera.
Or else.
Make sure to subscribe to our channel to get the latest news.
Namibia's High Court on Friday overturned 2 colonial-era laws that criminalized gay sex, in a landmark victory for the country's LGBTQ community.
Today is really a momentous day for all Namibians who love human rights.
Fidel Dassab, the activist who brought the case with the support of British-based non-governmental organization Human Dignity Trust, spoke to Reuters after the decision.
For me personally, it means that my life will never be a crime again. For the past 30 years, as a gay man, we've always been criminals on the run. Today, the court has declared this as unconstitutional, and it means that younger LGBT people, younger gay men, can dream of having a life that is no longer a secret, a life that is not a crime.
Consensual same-sex activity is prohibited in more than half of 54 African countries, according to one international organization supporting LGBTQ rights. Namibia inherited the laws when it gained independence from South Africa in 1990. Those same-sex acts between men were initially criminalized under colonial rule. South Africa has since decriminalized gay sex. Omar Van Reenen, co-founder of the Namibia Equal Rights Movement, welcomed the court's judgment Friday.
As the LGBTQ community are in need of a beacon of hope because we are living in a climate of fear from state-sanctioned homophobia and hate speech that have claimed the lives of 6 LGBTQ Namibians in the past year. So we need that beacon of hope and that message of love and unity and inclusivity from the court.
A law professor at the University of Namibia said the court's order can be appealed by the Namibian government within 21 days.
Chad's President Mohamed Idris Deby on Wednesday visited the site of a deadly ammunition depot explosion. At least 9 people were killed and dozens were injured in the blasts, according to the country.
Here's a bop. It actually starts a minute and 15 in. Well, you'll see what I mean, how tinny the music sounds.
Minister Deby said the situation was under control, but lessons must be learned. He added that the state would take care of those wounded. The explosion.
Okay, okay. That's very strange. It's like
it's a bop though, right?
It's like a mix between Middle Eastern and African music. It's like a fusion of it. It's weird. That's very weird.
Total bop though, right?
Lit up the night sky over the military base near the Central African nation's main international airport and sent spent shells flying into nearby homes.
A lot of AKs.
Windows and punched holes in walls and roofs in the military depot. Soldiers sifted through piles of mangled munition boxes and charred bullet shells. The nearby As Salam Medical Center bore the brunt of the blasts and was heavily damaged. Mohammed Hamid is the manager.
There has been enormous material damage to our clinic, with half the buildings destroyed.
It is
There
a
was
Semitic
also damage
language,
to our
though,
equipment
isn't it?
and machinery.
Might have something to do with it.
But like the regional instruments would develop the music culture itself.
Yes.
As a staff due to prompt.
A trip of a lifetime ended in the deaths of a Maryland couple who had traveled to Mecca, Saudi Arabia. They were taking part in the Hajj, the pilgrimage Muslims are called to do, one of the 5 pillars of Islam.
They both
Their daughter
died.
believes retired nurse Aissatou Wuri, age 65, and her husband Aliyu, age 71, succumbed to the extreme heat.
All we know is that it was of natural causes, and someone from the U.S. Embassy did advise that natural causes could have been due to a heat stroke, which, based on the temperature, people were saying it was over 110 degrees.
That's not natural causes.
Today, the Saudi
by the
government
way,
said more than
in my
1,500
opinion.
people have died at Hajj this year, with numerous cases due to heat stress. Wuri said even though her parents paid a tour company more than $20,000, their trip was plagued with problems, compelling the couple at one point to walk for hours in search of food.
That they've saved their entire lives to embark on this journey. It was just a nightmare overall experience of a
They
trip.
saved
They
their
talk about
entire
not having
lives
a
to
proper
go to Hajj.
transportation. They talk about days where the company did not provide.
Unbelievable.
And like they're literally like they're going after like travel agencies. Like they're like,
Good. They should. This is the travel agency's fault.
but also what about Saudi Arabia and they're fucking like facilitating like.
But yeah, like obviously, but this is the travel agency's fault. They should be facilitating the safety of everybody. That's why you pay $20,000. Like you don't pay the travel agency just to fly you there and book the flights. That's everything. The travel agency books everything. They are responsible for your safety with the things that they book. They are inherently responsible.
Provide food for them.
CNN has reached out to the tour company for comment. Now Wuri is planning to head to Saudi Arabia with her family to find where her parents are buried. I'm Tina Kim reporting.
Are you aware of a CIA psychological profile about you, sir? Would you be interested in hearing what the CIA had to say? This secret study portrays as a brilliant but dangerous megalomaniac who is likely to pursue his own aims in disregard of U.S. interests. He's an uncertain ally. Shall I go on, or would you prefer that I stop, sir?